Welcome to Urban Legends Uncovered, your spine-tingling journey through the world of urban legends and spooky lore. Here's your host, paranormal expert, Mark Sellers.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Urban Legends Uncovered. I'm Mark Sellers, your host for today, and we're diving into one of the most intriguing and spine-chilling urban legends of our time, the black-eyed children. These are children whose eyes appear completely black, devoid of any irises or whites, and their presence often comes with a deeply unsettling aura. But what are they really? Are they figments of our imagination, or is there something more to these tales? Let's start by exploring the origins of this haunting legend. The legend of the black-eyed children first gained traction in the late 1990s, thanks to a chilling story shared by journalist Brian Bethel. In 1996, Bethel claimed to have had a terrifying encounter in Abilene, Texas. While sitting in his car late one evening, he was approached by two children, boys around 9 to 12 years old. They knocked on his window and asked for a ride. Bethel described feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, but what really terrified him was their eyes, completely black, with no whites or irises. He sped away, leaving them behind. When he later shared his experience online, it sparked a flurry of similar stories from others. Since then, reports of black-eyed children have come from all over the world. What's interesting is how similar these encounters are. The children always appear at night, usually near cars or homes. They knock, ask to be let in, and make strange requests like asking to use the phone or to come inside to warm up. And of course, they have those haunting jet-black eyes. So, what could the black-eyed children really be? Let's explore the most intriguing theories, each more chilling than the last. First, let's talk about the extraterrestrial theory. Some ufologists believe the black-eyed children are connected to alien species, particularly the Greys, known for their large black eyes. Could these beings be alien-human hybrids sent to observe us? The idea is that their human-like appearance is an attempt to blend in, but the black eyes are a telltale sign of their otherworldly origins. One fascinating story supporting this theory comes from a man in Oregon. He recounted being visited by two children who asked to be let into his cabin during a thunderstorm. He refused, but later that night, he witnessed strange lights hovering over the woods behind his home, lights that moved erratically and vanished into the sky. Next, we have the demonic or paranormal explanation. Many people believe the black-eyed children are manifestations of dark spirits or even demons. This theory suggests their purpose is to feed on fear or even to cause harm to those who allow them inside. In 2015, a man in England claimed he encountered a black-eyed child on Cannock Chase, a forested area infamous for paranormal activity. He said the child appeared out of nowhere, walking alongside a path. When he looked directly at her, she smiled, a wide, unnatural grin, and whispered, "Let me come with you." He ran, but the fear he experienced stayed with him for years. And then, there's the idea that the black-eyed children are interdimensional beings. Think about it. What if they're slipping between dimensions and accidentally or intentionally crossing into ours? Their strange behavior, coupled with the eerie sense of unease they create, might point to them being from a reality vastly different from our own. Finally, let's consider the psychological explanation. Could these stories be mass hysteria, fueled by online forums and urban legend enthusiasts? It's possible that once Brian Bethel's account went viral, it triggered people to reinterpret their own odd experiences, or even fabricate new ones. But here's the twist. Whether these encounters are real, imagined, or something in between, the consistency of the stories, the black eyes, the request to be let in, the overwhelming fear, makes you wonder, could they all be drawing from the same unexplainable phenomenon? Now let's dig into some first-hand accounts of encounters with black-eyed children. These stories are enough to keep you up at night. Our first story comes from a man in rural West Virginia. Late one evening, he heard a knock at his door. When he opened it, he found two boys standing on his porch. They were wearing hooded sweatshirts, even though it was a warm summer night. The boys didn't look up right away, but spoke in monotone voices, asking to use the phone. The man said no, but as he started to close the door, one of the boys looked up, and that's when he saw the black eyes. He described them as voids, like looking into the abyss. He slammed the door, locked it, and went to grab his shotgun. But when he returned, the boys were gone. Here's the creepiest part. He claims that for weeks afterward, he experienced a string of bad luck. His car broke down, his dog fell ill, and he developed severe migraines. Coincidence? Maybe. But he insists it all started after that night. Another chilling account comes from a woman in Nevada. She was working the night shift at a gas station when two children entered. They didn't say a word but stood near the entrance, staring at her. She described feeling an intense, irrational fear, almost like she was being threatened without them speaking. Finally, she worked up the courage to ask if they needed help. One of the children replied, "Our parents are coming." She turned to look out the window, expecting to see a car, but the parking lot was empty. When she looked back, the children were gone. She replayed the security footage the next day, only to find no record of the children entering or leaving. And then there's this. In 2013, a couple in Vermont experienced what they believe was a black-eyed children encounter. It started with a knock at their door late one winter night. When they opened the door, they found a boy and a girl standing in the snow, dressed in light clothing. They asked to come inside to wait for their parents, who they claimed were coming to pick them up. Against his better judgment, the husband let them in. Almost immediately, the couple's pets, two cats and a dog, began acting hysterically, hiding and growling. The wife noticed the children's strange, pale complexions, but it wasn't until the boy looked up at her that she saw the solid black eyes. Terrified, she made an excuse to leave the room and called her husband. They demanded the children leave, but as they opened the door to usher them out, the children simply walked into the snow and vanished. That night, the couple's health took a strange turn. They both experienced severe headaches and unexplained nosebleeds for weeks after the incident. Whether these stories are true or not, the consistency is what gets me. The eerie calm, the unnatural behavior, and of course those black, soulless eyes. It's enough to make you think twice about answering a knock at your door late at night. So why do tales like this stick with us? Why do urban legends like the black-eyed children linger in our collective imagination, passed from person to person, decade after decade? Part of it lies in their simplicity. The black-eyed children legend doesn't rely on intricate backstories or detailed mythology. It's straightforward: a knock at the door, a sense of dread, and those unforgettable black eyes. That simplicity allows the story to be told and retold, with enough room for personalization to make it feel unique every time. But let's go deeper. The black-eyed children tap into something primal, our fear of the uncanny. There's a concept in psychology known as the uncanny valley. It describes how humans feel a deep sense of unease when encountering something that looks almost human but not quite. Think of mannequins, lifelike dolls, or humanoid robots. They unsettle us because they straddle the line between familiar and alien. The black-eyed children are the ultimate uncanny figures. They appear as children, the epitome of innocence, yet their behavior and those black, soulless eyes scream danger. Then there's the setting of these stories. They often occur in the places where we feel safest: our homes, our cars, or familiar neighborhoods. The thought of opening your door at night and encountering something so otherworldly violates the sense of security we associate with those spaces. It's why these tales haunt us long after we hear them. And let's not forget the psychological role of cautionary tales. Urban legends like these often serve as subtle warnings. Think about it. What do the black-eyed children want? To be let in. That's a universal metaphor for vulnerability, for lowering your defenses. These stories tap into our instinctive need to protect ourselves and our loved ones, especially from things we don't fully understand. They're a modern twist on the old fairy tales that warned us about talking to strangers or wandering into dark forests. There's also a fascinating connection to our fear of losing control. Many people who encounter the black-eyed children describe feeling paralyzed, as though they're unable to act rationally. It's as if these beings wield some sort of supernatural influence. That fear, that even in our own homes, we might not be able to protect ourselves, adds another layer of dread to the legend. And finally, let's consider the role of technology. Stories of the black-eyed children exploded in the late 1990s and early 2000s, around the same time that the internet began connecting people in unprecedented ways. Before that, urban legends were spread by word of mouth. Now, a single eerie post can reach millions of people in minutes. The internet allowed these stories to spread faster and evolve more quickly, taking on a life of their own. At their core, legends like this persist because they ask questions we're not sure how to answer. Are these encounters real? If not, why do so many people report similar experiences? And even if they're just stories, Why do they make our skin crawl? The black-eyed children thrive in that gray area between belief and doubt, between reality and imagination, and that's what makes them so unforgettable. So, what can we conclude from the tale of the black-eyed children? Firstly, urban legends like this feed into our inherent curiosity about things that challenge our understanding of reality. They also illustrate how shared fears can manifest in the form of stories passed from one person to another, evolving over time. While there's no scientific evidence to verify the existence of black-eyed children, the legend itself is a reflection of societal fears about strangers, about manipulation, about the things we cannot control. In wrapping up today's episode, we've journeyed through the chilling tales and theories surrounding the urban legend of the black-eyed children. We've examined their origins, shared the thrilling yet terrifying personal encounters with these mysterious beings, and explored their broader cultural significance. The discussion reveals not just the spookiness of the stories themselves, but what they mean about the society that perpetuates them. Urban legends, grim as they may be, are a mirror to our collective concerns and curiosities. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Urban Legends Uncovered. I hope these tales of the black-eyed children have left you intrigued and perhaps a little more aware of the eerie stories circulating just beneath the surface of everyday life. Keep your doors locked and your curiosity alive. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. Goodbye.
You've been listening to Urban Legends Uncovered. If you enjoyed this podcast, please click the subscribe button to get alerted when we drop a new episode. And make sure to visit us at www.urbanlegendsuncovered.com. We'll see you next time.